Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. We are going to be discussing this week's energy beginning tomorrow, April 26th, and running through the weekend. You're going to notice a few changes today. I am not on camera for purpose, and I am showing the environment in which I find myself, which is lovely Rivershire. It's always a pleasure to be here because of the transformational qualities and healing qualities of this environment. I found it so appropriate because I'm up here on this super full moon that is extremely transformational that I highlight the location that I'm at. If it's too much for you to watch the video and it's not me on the video, then go ahead and look away, put your earbuds in and focus on the words that I'm speaking versus the video itself. But I do find it transformational here at Rivershire, and I'm hoping that by sharing that experience with you, you'll get some transformational energy out of it as well. Also, at Rivershire, there are some transformations going on here as well. It's a pretty good sized home that is split into two different portions. And the portion that was separated and used as an apartment has been rejoined with the other side. However, it's going through its own transformational purpose. So I've decided to step into that side of the larger home today so that I can come to you in an environment that is going through transformational changes in a very healing environment that is Rivershire. Also, I want to note today's video could be long. I have plenty of notes on hand that I will be referring to. So if you do hear me shuffling through paperwork, I'm referring to the notes that I've made earlier today as I received those downloads. So thank you. Let's get started. Let's jump right in. I do appreciate you being here today. I do appreciate your want and need to gain a greater understanding of what's happening with the collective, with yourself, through astrology and the aspects of any astrological configurations for your greatest good. So, and we've got a lot going on this week. So again, the highlight, the superstar of this week is the super full moon in Scorpio. So what's involved in that? So we've got Pluto, which happens to be the ruler, the modern day ruler of Scorpio, that is going to bring in powerful transformations. And then we've got Uranus engaged as well here. So that's going to instigate karmic changes. Uranus with Pluto coupled together instigates karmic changes. And then this is all occurring with the moon in Scorpio. What is Scorpio? Secrets and intimacy, intensity, and truths. If you know Scorpios, they like to hold their cards close to their chest until they play them. It's a very mysterious sign that can have some significant intuitive qualities. I myself am a Scorpio cusper on the front end with Libra latter sign, Scorpio earlier signs. So I can speak of scorpionic energy and how it resonates with great certainty. So let's talk about this super full moon. So Scorpio is also a fixed water sign. What does that mean? Water is very fluid in its ability to transform and change. However, Scorpio is also a fixed sign, and fixed signs, which happen to be Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio, they tend to be unchangeable, seeing things through till the end. And they can be stubborn sometimes, or we can dig our heels in and until something has to give. So fixed signs are very, very, very firm in their commitments, firm in their stance, very difficult to knock them off their center. That's Scorpion energy as well. So it also, again, sexuality, lust, and intimacy are ruled by Scorpio as well. With the planet Pluto, Uranus, and Saturn also being part of this super full moon, we can expect transformational energy below the surface, surprises from out of the blue that will continue not only this week, you may have seen some last week and as well next week. We are ushering in eclipse season, folks, and the purpose of this super full moon, which means that it's closer to the Earth, second in a row, actually. We'll talk more about that later. But that in itself is going to bring some significant shock and awe out of the blue for the purpose of our transformation. And then Saturn rules restrictions for the purpose, again, for our greater understanding and our highest evolutionary processes. So let's jump into the moon. So we've got the first aspect is going to be a square between the moon in Scorpio, the sun, which is conjunct Uranus in Taurus, and other planets. Sun is a star, of course, but for this purpose, I'm going to group it with planets. There are other planets involved with that Uranus conjunction, which we'll also talk about. But that's square Saturn in Aquarius. There's a dichotomy here of sorts. We've discussed this before. So the Uranus stands for instant changes, changes for the greater good, coming out of nowhere, and that currently sits in Taurus, which is the planet of tried and true, steadfast, please don't make me change, I'm here for the purpose of security and understanding that what's worked for me before is working for me now. So there's a dichotomy there. Then we've got Saturn, which is the planet of restriction, and Aquarius, which stands for freedom. So we've got a dichotomy here. We've talked about this before. Squares will let us know that someone that we're speaking with is most likely not seeing things the exactly same way that we are. And we need to be mindful of that. So when you speak to folks, including yourself, speak with care, speak for the purpose of hearing them. Hear their truths. You may not agree, but please be mindful of that and speak to get a point across, but then listen for the purpose of understanding. Now, when you have a planet like Uranus that is grouped together with other planets, which happens to be, again, Sun, which is a star, we're going to refer to it as a planet, and Venus and Mercury all together, it intensifies that energy. So Uranus's energy is going to be amplified. Again, sudden changes out of nowhere. Also, there's an aspect here to Neptune. Neptune can cause confusion at times. An example of that would be trying to make the determination of where I was going to set up today and making the realization that my best way to set up today is off camera so I can allow the healing qualities of this beautiful environment to permeate your soul and being. In addition to that, we've got an aspect of Mars in Cancer against the planets or with the planets in Taurus. So that Mars equates to action. It's going to give us the wherewithal to take action to rectify our situation. So again, the universe is giving us the tools necessary to deal with the situation or situations that pop up out of the blue. Also, this full moon has an aspect with the North Node in Gemini. It is a very pleasant aspect at that. So it's going to help us make transformational changes that help us align with our greater good. And again, I mentioned that Pluto and Uranus are involved here. Pluto, Uranus, and Taurus means karmic transformations. So karmic transformations, karma, the resolution of karma will also help us achieve a higher level of living so that we can reach our greatest good or our own personal North Node. Now, we also have 7 planets in fixed signs. We talked about fixed signs when I discussed Scorpio energy. Those fixed signs are Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio, as well as Leo. Now, the 7 planets I'm referring to are in Taurus, Aquarius, or Scorpio. However, none in Leo. Leo people will be affected, however, by the super full moon. We talked about fixed sign energy. Again, fixed signs, unchangeable energy that wants to see things through until the end. Be mindful of stubbornness at this time, or digging our heels on something that we don't want to change, that probably should change so that we can reach our greatest good. Now, because we discussed this being the second full, super full moon in a row, and let's add also that we just recently saw the spring equinox come in near the end of March. There is an expansion of the Earth's core from a scientific perspective. The Earth's core is expanding. And when that's coupled with the energy from the spring equinox, which allowed for cracks in the atmosphere near the poles, and more gamma light coming into our universe, our planet at that time, you're combining that now with fixed sign energy. Changes that need to happen in areas that don't want to move. Tectonic plates, our own personal energy that really doesn't want to move. This all relates to something's got to give. And we've been there, folks. We've been there. If something needs to change and we are hesitant to that change or resistant to that change, it seems like that situation intensifies until there's a resolution, and then there's immediate freedom within that resolution. We will be seeing that this week. I can speak to that personally. Again, remember, I am a fixed water sign on a cusp. So I've had to deal with some of these feelings and emotions over the course of time. So this has become a masterful energy for me, using my Scorpio transformational purpose or energy for the purpose of accepting those changes, stepping off my fixed sign abilities, wanting to envelop some of the water sign tendencies to allow that freedom to come in so that I can reach a greater good or higher purpose. Now, that's a lot going on. As I mentioned, tectonic plates here, earthquakes, volcanoes, we've seen a little of that. Uranus will remain in Taurus, which is an earth sign, for until 2026. I expect that we are going to see more earth-specific energy and transformational changes there through that period of time. However, with Uranus being in Taurus, opposite this full moon, conjunct those other planets, it does speak volumes to me relative to our need to step off some of our fixed energy for the purpose of transformational change that will heal us and allow us to gain a higher wisdom and become more aware of our greatest good. Now, that's a lot in itself. Within hours of the super full moon, retrograde season begins with planet Pluto. Pluto goes retrograde on Tuesday, early. And whenever a planet changes direction, there's amplification of that energy. And this is going to allow for very karmic awakenings. We will begin to recognize that we cannot go back. So whatever the super full moon has brought up for you, you are making that understanding or reaching that understanding that you cannot go back. you can only go forward with the energy and the understandings that you have. Because I mentioned an aspect of Neptune, there could be some confusion with all of this. That's okay. Stop. Take time out. Take a break. Healthy detachment, self-care, take a warm bath. If this gets to be too much, take a step back. It's okay. Deal with it when you can step back in. But no, it is going to be fast-moving, transformational energies. So take what you can. If you're confused, allow yourself some downtime, away time, so that those realizations can come in. When we get confused, sometimes we block our higher understanding or wisdom because of that just intensity of the situation. Stepping away, regrounding ourselves, take a walk outside. If you're an art type person, create some art. That energy will still come into you, and it will come into you with clarity once you've moved away from the confusion and allow some more of those creative juices to flow, or when you connect with the earth, or just stepping out into an area that you find peaceful and full of serenity. So again, this Pluto retrograde season can be very heavy and confusing. It can also magnify problems. So why would a problem be magnified, and why would that be happening? Why would the universe present that to you? The reason why it would present it to you is for the purpose of transformation, and the tools will also be provided that will allow you to do that. You may need to be patient, however. Those tools may come in the next week or two. Certainly by the time of the next new moon, mid-month next, you'll have those tools necessary to make those changes. Journal, sit down, talk to yourself in a very mindful, kind, loving way, but understand, write those problems down, the ones that are right at the forefront of your mind, so that you can take a good hard look at it. Be honest with yourself. Scorpio also is extremely honest. Be honest so that you can make changes and transform when the tools do present. Ask yourself, where are you hanging on to things that don't serve you? Watch yourself for obsessiveness or addictive qualities that need some level of transformation so that you can ascend, again, any karmic situations or obsessive, addictive situations that are holding you back from reaching your greater good. Please know that while we're doing this individually, it can also be happening on the public stage. So as you see things occur in the outward world, pause, take what's yours, be honest with yourself, own what's yours, be mindful of others, and then allow it to transform you for your greater good. And when you have the ability and the strength, being brave, you'll find that freedom in the transformational energy. If you've ever been in a situation, I consider, I'm going to use a childlike scenario because it's easier to grasp for me, certainly, when it gets so complex like this. So you're a child and you've done something that you know you shouldn't have done, and you sit and you stew and you sit and you stew and you sit and you stew, and that situation becomes even more and more and more powerful over you, till either you confess or your sibling confesses for you, and then there's a judgment that's handed down by mom or dad or whomever the person is that raises you or is responsible for the situation. That judgment comes down. As soon as the judgment comes down, you've owned up to things, the freedom comes rushing in. Not only are you hopeful not to do that again, that whatever situation got you into that difficult energy, but you've gained wisdom in the process. You've transformed yourself. So that very simple situation as a child can be now applied to our adult situations that we find ourselves in. Now, as we move closer to the end of the week, again, that's just Monday and Tuesday, and those energies are powerful. I expect them to be prominent, as I mentioned. They may have started last week to continue through this week and continue perhaps into the 1st of May as well. We'll discuss it as it comes, break it down, and leave the parts there that become overwhelming, please. But near the end of the week, there are going to be revelations and shocks that are going to be more and more prominent. So it's important as you duck away from some of this very transformative energy early in the week that you do step away and find your center, ground yourself, so that this next level of energy that comes in later in the week with shock and awe, that we are able to mindfully manage that energy as well. These realizations that come to us at that time can be immediately transformative. I mean, you can have one thought and philosophy in the morning, and by afternoon you have something completely different. Dramatic changes in who you are as an individual, or dramatic changes as to how you exist in your world. How you identify as an individual can be transformed immediately as well. I personally find this exciting and exhilarating. There are things in my life that I hope to transform and change. I will be happily gravitating towards this beautiful Pluto transformational energy and using it to my greater good, greatest good, so that I can heal some things from my past lifetimes, family karmic issues, so I can feel those, so that I can be ready to jump right into whatever this dynamic life change will be personally, on the collective, later in the week. Remember too, we have eclipse season coming up at the end of next month. This super full moon and the energy that supplements that super full moon at the end of the week is ushering in this eclipse season. Before the eclipse actually happens, we will get tools for understanding come mid-May that will allow us to really envelop and be happy about these changes that are occurring. Again, if you are a fixed sign and you are hesitant towards change, be patient, be kind, more importantly with yourself, but also those on the collective. This truly is the last stage of the game before eclipse season. This is the last step in us understanding what is holding us back as it presents as challenges or people or relationships or jobs that no longer resonate with the energy that is important and drives us. Be brave. Be honest with yourself. Take a moment to think about where are you living in a way that doesn't honor your personal truths. It is time for you to be selfish and compassionate. Remember, compassionate energy is woven into this. Be compassionate with yourself and others. Release the burdens that are cumbersome. Those things that are cumbersome and problematic to you, release them and accept the freedom that comes when you transform and accept whatever changes are necessary. Let that cumbersomeness fall away. Be honest and open to anyone that you are in an exchange with. I mean, verbally, in communications. Be open and honest, but please be compassionate with yourself and the other person that you're speaking with. Fierce on the surface can really be gentle below and deep down inside. Recognize that. If someone is fierce, it could be a protectionary measure to protect them from the things that are very gentle below the surface that they really want to heal, that they want to get in touch with. And you could be the harbinger of that change. Also, things are going to be okay. I promise you that. The universe always, always, always surprises us and supplements our circumstances with things that allow us to make the change and then accept the change and then excel, knowing that that change was in our greatest and highest level of achievement. Find balance where you can. When things get intense, find balance, self-care, step outside, step away, go find a beam of light and feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. Finally, the realization of events occurring personally or publicly that allow you to transform your reality for your greater good and that of unity consciousness. Folks, that's the greatest gift that the universe can provide us. Thank you so much for watching this beautiful river, Boardman River at Rivershire, and hearing these words as they are delivered today, channeled from those that help me get through my days. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below in the comments section. If you liked this video, please like it. If you know of folks that can be helped by sharing, please do share this video. And I am so appreciative that you're here today. You truly are a blessing to me. And I am also grateful and thankful for all the blessings in the universe. Namaste.